In this episode, I'm going to show you really quickly how you can make an underwater scene with just a couple colors of paint coming right up. Everybody, so the two colors that I'm going to use right now are going to be blue and white. As you can see, I'm using just basic color acrylic paint, nothing special. These are just basic brand colors. I'm going to be using a large flat brush here at the beginning just to start and cover up a lot of this canvas. We're going to map out exactly where our water line is going to be and where some of that bottom area is going to be, along as with the top reflection as well. So let's start off by getting some plain blue on this brush. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this up close so you can see. I'm just putting some plain acrylic blue right on the brush. And right about here, I'm going to go ahead and draw kind of a little semi-diagonal line. Just a little line kind of just going right across. And I'm doing this back and forth technique. I'm going to just practice with this. And as you can see, since I'm using a large brush, it covers a lot of the painting, the canvas, very, very quickly. The paint just covers it right away, and it is a fantastic color. Now it's really vibrant, it's really blue. We can tone that down with white actually, so let's go ahead and just practice a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of this white and bring it out. Now there's still blue on my brush, which is fine, because we're going to start establishing some different layers on this painting. So I'm taking that little bit of white, putting some blue on there, and bringing it down. And there's still a lot of paint left on this brush, so I'm going to go ahead and try to keep using it and just extend some of this paint out up top here. So you can see I've got this kind of band of color going. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more white on my brush. Now I do want to make it look a little bit more obvious, like there is some kind of top to this. Alright, so there is some contrast. We're not going to do as much blending just yet. But it is a light blue that I've got going on here. And it's already starting to dry. That acrylic paint is already starting to dry, which is so fantastic. It makes it nice and easy to do this painting. Alright, and it's very easy workable paint. And as you're doing this back and forth technique, you actually kind of see that it starts to blend up a little bit. It makes it easy. You're more than welcome to paint your edges too. I leave that entirely up to you as an artist. You can do whatever you'd like, but as you can see, I'm just leaving it like that. Now, down below here, we're going to go ahead and add a lot more white. Now, it's a little bit of a different step down here, and you'll see what I mean as we go along. But I want to at least establish some different layers to this painting. A lot more white down here. It has still got some blue going in it, but definitely a lot brighter than my other areas. So we've got a really dark blue here. We have a light blue, and you can even add some streaks of light blue kind of coming in here. And I can bring them up and blend those two a little bit. You can see sometimes you add a lot of paint, sometimes a very little amount of paint. You know, you just gotta test it and test your brush and get used to the different things that are happening on your canvas. And you just improvise a lot of the times. That's what I do, as I improvise this, and I just go with the motions and, you know, just break it down one step at a time. All right, there you go. You've got your first layer. You've got this whole canvas, covered, and we're actually going to be adding a lot more textures now that are going to completely change the look of this one. So get ready. We're going to switch over to a small size brush. All right, so now I've got my smaller size brush. It's actually a flat brush. I'm gonna just, it's a lot, you know, it's still pretty good size, but it's a lot smaller than the last one because I just wanted to cover a lot of canvas. This one's I'm gonna use to start breaking up this painting and start changing everything. So we're gonna make a very, very light blue, almost white. So you can see I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of that white and light blue on this brush. And we're just gonna mix that up. You wanna make it at least a little bit lighter if you can than the top. Now I'm gonna bring this up close so you can see what I'm working on. We're gonna go ahead and just start making little patterns, you know, going on this top right here. It's just breaking up. It almost looks like little ovals, flattened ovals and lines just breaking up. And what you can do is you can do opposite of that. You can add a little bit of dark blue on your brush, and you can add more lines with your regular blue, and it'll blend into that dark blue. Take a look. And you can see there's starting to be all these awesome textures now coming off of this brush and really changing the dynamic and flow of that top water. You can see it's just a really pretty step, very basic, all right? And that's what I want you to do, is just kind of practice that. So as you can see, I've got this cool texture up top here. Now you want to add some texture down here in your sand. So we're going to just go ahead and use that same flat brush. It's kind of got some dark and light blue on there. This time we're going to actually make kind of a little bit of patterns going this way. Now these ones are going to be more chunky. These are going to look like almost like zebra stripes kind of going across your seafloor here. And you can see I'm not connecting them all the way. I'm breaking them up a little bit and making them kind of come out in this awesome angle. And you can see it's just creating an illusion that is making it look like the sand is kind of far away, and you kind of make these lines a little closer as you go up here. I'm going to go ahead and just show you. I'm going to keep on doing this. And you can see that we start to flatten out a little bit over here. You see you're getting the sea floor now. Starting to really see the divots and the grooves inside that floor. And remember, they're not perfect. They're very much all different. There's movement going on in this ocean, and this definitely shows some kind of new pattern happening down below. Now you can of course add some darker shadows and lighter shadows, and then thin some of this out. So you just got to practice, but you can see just a whole different feel on this. We started off with some big brush strokes going back and forth, and now these textures really change everything. So go ahead and just kind of practice with this. You can even put some, you know, lighter blue and medium blue within this, just to, you know, add texture and break some of it up as well. But you definitely want to see some kind of, you know, breakage in your lighting. You see highlights, lowlights, all sorts of interesting textures starting to now come off of your brush, and it just is an amazing step in what can happen so quickly on your canvas. There you go, beautiful. All right, so as you can see with our large brush, we did the big brush strokes. We started adding some details and adding some textures. You can see that paint is still a little wet and glossed up. No big deal, just let it do its drying thing. Now what I want to do is get one of my smaller size brushes. Again, I'm going with another flat one, and I'm going to go ahead and add some highlights. Okay, so I just put a little bit of plain white, as you can see, on this brush, and I'm just going to hold this up here for you, and I'm going to get some random little areas here just to highlight, just little areas. I want to add even more depth, and when we start adding some more layers, that brings that depth, and it really changes the painting. It really just starts to pop out at you a lot better. There you go. See, basics right there. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and just switch back eventually to a flat size brush, all right? But we're gonna eventually, real quick, we're gonna be adding some cool highlights and sparkles down here below some of the reflection, and then we'll add some beams of that light coming down and reflecting on here. All right, now for this step, I'm gonna be using a really tiny brush. It's almost like I'm drawing with this. And I'm gonna add just plain white on my brush. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little bit of this acrylic paint on there. Now this one's an interesting step. This one takes a little getting used to. We're gonna go back down to our highlights and lowlights, and we're gonna just kind of make some wavy lines. All right, these are like little squiggles almost, and it can go against the grain, and what it does, it gives the illusion that there are some highlights being flashed down from up below. I mean up above, sorry. So take a look. Wow. Just kind of crackling. Like light does, it reflects on that bottom surface. And you can see I'm just randomly making these shapes, and I'm going to continue to do that for a little bit. Alright, so congrats, you're almost done with this painting. As you can see, we've broken it down with just a few steps. Now what I'm going to do is go back to my large brush. It's that flat brush, kind of just wiping off a lot of the paint. In fact, you can see it's getting all over my hand right there. I'm going to go ahead and just put some plain white on this brush, plain white. And let's wipe this guy off a little bit. So paint can get on your hands from time to time. That's all right, you're becoming an artist. I'm proud of you. And I'm gonna go ahead and just take some of these awesome streaks here. I'm gonna start with the skinny side. You can see there is quite a bit of paint still on there. But the more you take this brush, you can see it kind of thins out a little bit. In fact, you can even try thinning it out with your larger side. Look at that big brush stroke right there. So all you got to do is just kind of practice. I like start from the top a little bit more and then add some paint brush strokes down going below, but you can see it gives the illusion that there's some like cool rays of light just heading down into this paint, into the ground here, the ground floor. And what it does is starts opening pockets too. It changes the whole painting dynamic. It actually is adding some new highlights and lowlights, so you can go back anytime and just play around with this. I'm gonna take my smaller size brush and watch this. I'm just gonna add some highlights right here and just give it that illusion that maybe some of these are really bright highlights coming from the top surface. Just changing the whole dynamic. Look at those cool streaks. And look behind there, it's actually taking up some of this paint that we had below, and it's adding its own highlights on its own. I didn't even touch that. And it's on its own, really just doing it by itself because I'm bringing these brush strokes down. I'm bringing some of this paint because it was still trying to dry. But now you can see, look at this. I'm just gonna go ahead and add this awesome highlight right here. Look at that. See, you can just change it up. It is so awesome what you can do. And you can bring some of these highlights from up here too, because it is getting some light from up here. You want to make sure you show some love to the top. See? And that, my friends, is how you give the illusion of water sparkling on here. Now you can add all sorts of little things on here. I've even seen like, you know, where you can add like little bubbles, little dots. You know, maybe it was just some water just going every way, and you know, it's always changing. So this helps add to like maybe there's some, you know, illusion or something of going on, some activity happening in this painting. But as you can see, just a fun step. So we started with those big brush strokes and we created that depth behind there. Then we started working on some details of water movement up above. Then switched down to make some pattern of some kind of ripples down here. It looks like sand, a little bit more of a sandbar. Added some sparkles going on in there. You can always touch this up and make, you know, have some fun with it. And then, of course, we added the cool light rays just beaming down. But for far away, this looks pretty neat. All right, so keep up the good work, and we'll see you on the next episode.